Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. Isn't this just the best music, man? It's like the best music I've heard in my entire life. And I'm not saying it because I made it, but I don't know, it's kind of amazing. David, what's up? How you doing?
Yo. I still need intro music.
You do?
You know what I want? This is before your time, probably even before you were born. But this was in the 90s. There was the Dr. Dre and Ed Lover show. And they would start their show off with the roll call. They had this beat and they'd go, yeah, we just can't miss, and we just can't miss, and we just can't miss with a beat like this. Roll call, it's the roll call, it's the roll call, it's the roll call. Hey, oh, what's up, y'all, and what you gotta say? Who's on the mic with Ed, Lisa, and Dre? Right? But like a us version, right? Like, what's up, y'all, and what's it gonna be? Who's on the mic with D Wood and AP? You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like that kind of thing.
We should do that.
But it kind of feels like you need a crowd, like all singing it or something like that. I don't know. Maybe when I'm hanging out in the studio, I'll get a bunch of the guys who are there. And we'll all like record it.
Yeah. Speaking of I had a little bit of a delay today.
Did you say speaking of stupid?
I said studio, not stupid.
Oh, okay, studio. Okay, I thought you were calling my whole idea stupid. I was about to click out of this live stream. All right,
yeah. I had a little bit of a delay today. Normally we're never late, but today I was a little bit late. So it's because my stuff wasn't working very well. And I thought all of this could be solved if we had a different system in place where we could have a proper studio where we always get together and do live streams, like a regular program and all that. And in fact, we have been thinking about that. We have been thinking about that for quite a while now. I have been playing with the thought of establishing a studio and doing regular content together, not just streams, but also regular videos, but also do live streams together, have it all in a properly organized way with people helping out and all that. And I think we have recently actually come a little bit closer to the idea of doing that, with me thinking of moving and getting closer to David. And then we would be kind of in the vicinity and get a place where we set things up and constantly work together, like every day. And we are looking into that. It's just it's difficult to arrange and to organize all of that. It would be mostly very challenging and logistically very, very demanding on my part, not so much on David's part. Of course, David never has to do anything, always me. But yeah, we're thinking about it.
Yeah, and most other people don't know, but I've mentioned it, but I got 2 fluent Arabic speakers moving this way, moving across the ocean. They just got to wait for the all the visa and so on to be approved, but they're moving to be full-time researchers. There's always 2 weaknesses, 2 main weaknesses. I love that. Hey, I didn't know it would do it on yours. I keep forgetting. Hey, it does it on yours. That's cool. Anyway, 2 main weaknesses were one, any Muslim can always say, oh, but in Arabic, and it would take me a while to find out whether the guy was telling the truth or not. Whereas now I'll be having 2 Arabic speakers right here with me. And the other thing was, there are all these sources that haven't been translated yet. And sometimes you need those, right? So you'll hear Tabari says this. The history about Tabari has been translated, but the tafsir hasn't. And so you hear Tabari said such and such, and you don't know. And so you try and contact someone to find out and so on. Anyway, now we'll just have that right there. Hey, pull up Tabari's commentary on this verse and let's see what it says. So anyway, yeah, AP, if you were here, the dream scenario would be like there are like 7 or 8 of us all in the same area, specializing in different topics and stuff, and then just live call in free for all, accepting all challenges, and then whoever comes up to challenge, hey, we got the guy to respond to that right here. Hey, you're up, sport. Jump on the mic. It'll be dope.
That would be very, very, very good. And the idea of having people from from Europe move over to the US to help out and stuff is especially good because, of course, it's we we know that Europe is about to collapse. It's going to be terrible. So we want to encourage those who are useful to us to move over to the US, while telling people that it's not that bad right now. So yeah. That's also, of course,
get out while you can, ladies and gentlemen. Get out while you can, but it's not that bad.
Don't say it to everyone.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad. I want to thank you.
Yes. So anyway, today we want to be talking about speaking of collapse and not getting too bad. We want to talk about a Muslim preacher from the United Caliphate, UC, also known as the United Kingdom, as it was called in the past, when it was still a Christian country, saying that worshiping Jesus or believing that Jesus is the Son of God or Jesus is God is worse than homosexuality, so worse than being gay, and
having gay sex, right? So being a Christian, this is Muhammad hijab. So you've got the Quran, which puts Christians in a special category along with Jews as the people of the book. But you've got, according to Muhammad hijab, his view is that according to Islam, being a matter of fact, dude, you'd have to say, we'd have to expand upon this. But if you asked him, he would say, okay, which is worse, Muhammad hijab, having pedophilic gay sex with a child or being a Christian? Pedophilic gay sex with a little boy. What's worse, that or being a Christian? The exact same reasoning would apply. He would say being a Christian. Being a Christian is worse than being you could say, matter of fact, you could say being a prolific pedophile who murders the little boys after brutally raping them. Which is worse, that or being a Christian? Guarantee you, he would say being a Christian worse. Exact same reasoning that he was just sharing with Sneeko would apply. So this is interesting stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
And that would be the correct answer, of course.
Yep.
It would be the correct answer, and we don't have any problem with that at all. And I don't have a problem with any of that. I'm just pointing this out because to me, this just looks like a very, very clear and very blatant slap in the face of those who go around and still say dumb stuff like, "Oh, we Christians and Muslims, we should unite." Yeah. We Muslims and Christians unite.
By the way, a pedophile child murderer would be better than you.
You see,
of what you believe.
Yeah, you disgusting piece of. The thing is, of course, the title here might sound kind of appealing, actually, to leftists, progressives, to I don't know, to people who support the whole LGBTQ stuff. But that's not the point of this at all, because to Muslims, to somebody like Muhammad hijab here, of course, gay intercourse is unacceptable and disgusting and horrible. And if you do that, you are supposed to be put to death under Islam, as Muhammad clearly laid out. And this is even the law in many Muslim countries today, or it is illegal to normalize or to justify such a thing, and so on. However, while that is totally disgusting and sick and evil and all that, believing in Christianity is actually worse to Muhammad hijab. So when people nowadays come and say, "Oh, look, it's like the West is getting totally morally corrupt, and all the LGBTQ stuff, this is why we Muslims and Christians should unite," and all that, they're not being very honest, or not being very smart, or not being very knowledgeable about it. Because from the Muslim perspective, the LGBTQ stuff spreading is not as bad as the belief in Christianity spreading.
Hey, we'd have to ask the follow-up. So being a Christian is worse than anything the LGBTQ community is doing. And therefore, if you're a Muslim and you wanted to form an alliance if you wanted to form an alliance, who would be a more natural, more comfortable alliance for the Muslim community? The LGBTQ community, Queers for Palestine, or Christians?
The LGBTQ community.
Absolutely, according to what he was saying to Sneeko. Absolutely.
But then, of course, after you reach the goal of establishing Islam as the main power, then the LGBT community would be.
Yes. Yeah. Keep in mind, we're all still under a death sentence, ultimately, ladies and gentlemen. He's just saying Christians are in the worst category along with Jews. We're all in the worst category. But yeah, don't worry. Everyone else is on the list to be killed as well.
Yes.
So there's that.
Everyone else is on Hillary Clinton's list. All right. So let's have a look at this. And I have some thoughts and some comments on all of this that I want to get into once we have analyzed this. And we will also move from this to looking into what Islam actually says about the topic, how right they are and the implications and so on. But let's see. So this is a chat that happened. I checked it on Rumble just a few days ago. I think Sneeko went live with Mohammed Hijab when he was in Bosnia or something. And there they were commenting on this stuff. So here's what is being said.
What's worse, having sex with a man or believing in Jesus?
So actually, it's much more explicit than the title here implies or indicates. He says having sex with a man or...
What's worse, having sex with a man or believing in Jesus as a God?
So having sex with a man or believing in Jesus as a God.
Did we ever figure out who that third person back there is?
I know who that is. His name is Musa Adnan or something. I think it's Musa Adnan. He hangs out with him quite a bit.
I can't tell what they've got in their hand. Is that a muswak or?
I don't know.
Got something in his hand. Anyway, don't know. Considering they're sitting there talking about gay sex.
I was going to, but I have a more high quality. I have a more high resolution thing of that here directly from the Rumble. Let me see. High quality. Let's see.
It's got nothing now.
Probably just a glass of water. What's your problem, man? Why are you judging?
He had something that he was holding in his mouth at the beginning. It looked like a muswak or something.
I don't know. We will never know. We will never know.
It's one of life's great mysteries. So you're saying that's not Smiles to Jenna?
No, this is his name is Musa Adnan.
Okay.
That's what his name is. Alhamdulillah.
Believing in Jesus as God as well.
Oh, it's a bottle.
Yeah, of course.
It's a baba.
Why?
Why? Now you're ruining the whole thing, man.
Oh, sorry. Start over.
What's worse, having sex with a man or believing in Jesus as God? Believing in Jesus as God is worse.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Come sit on our lap, Sneeko, while we discuss this.
Yes, Sneeko, we have been trying to tell you about this. It's not that bad, yeah. Lots of people do it, Sneeko. Come on. We're sharing a room here.
Can you imagine sharing a room with two guys and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, what's worse? Getting banged in your butt or believing in Christianity? Getting banged in your butt? No, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, Sneeko. Here, come sit with us and let us explain to you some things about our prophet and a man named Dihya al-Kalbi. And let us show you this passage about this man, Muhammad, lifting up his shirt so this man could smooch him all over his milky white flesh. You know, Muhammad's the pattern of conduct in Islam, don't you, Sneeko? Hey, look at these passages about Muhammad sucking on the tongues of little boys, Sneeko. Don't you think that's a good idea to suck on the tongues of boys?
I'm really curious now what actually happens in this whole conversation because I see the chat here being very like this is disgusting.
Oh, this is a really long video.
Yeah, let me see what actually happens here.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, this is the part. Wait,
those now are not strong.
It's like we're just moving them from one corner of the hellfire to another.
No, but like some of the values you're mentioning, they're not strong anymore with Christians. Like, for example, you got gay priests. You got priests marrying.
You got LGBTQ mosques, guys. Quit lying. You got entire LGBTQ mosques and gay imams and stuff. Don't Don't pretend that's not a thing in Islam.
Not necessarily pushing them in a direction.
You know, put it this way. Yeah, but this might sound weird, but what's worse?
It's so funny. He's saying this is going to sound a bit weird, but
sex with a man or believe.
It's like, so it's not, you're not necessarily pushing them in a direction.
You know, put it this way. Yeah, but this might sound weird, but what's worse, having sex with a man or believing in Jesus as God?
Believing in Jesus as God is worse.
Really?
Yeah,
of course.
Because why?
Sneako's reaction is
really.
Because the worst
does that mean you wait 1 second? Does that mean that that doesn't mean anything?
But what if they haven't revealed the truth yet? Because it's like, aren't these people that have not understood the truth?
Yeah, no, that's
the people that go to hell are the ones that have not been revealed the truth.
No, we're just talking about them as
but as standalone concepts.
Yeah, standalone.
What's
look at the chat up here.
Worse, having
shirk or gay?
Yeah,
shirk is the worst thing.
Yeah,
why
though?
Right.
Shirk is being gay.
What's the logic behind that?
They are sick.
Allah does not forgive someone.
Brain dead religion.
Oh, it's funny. This is on Sneako's channel. So all Sneako's fans are watching Muhammad Hijab go, hey guys, if you have to decide between becoming a Christian or getting banged in your butt, then go ahead and get banged in your butt. It's better for you. It's better for you.
Yeah.
It's better for you.
Yeah. Man.
Lose faith. I tell you, lose faith. It's better for you.
Yeah. Basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course.
What?
Why?
Come on.
Why?
Because the worst thing
does that mean you wait 1 second? Does that mean that that doesn't mean anything?
But what if they haven't revealed the truth yet? Because it's like, aren't these people that have not understood the truth?
Yeah, no, that's
the people that go to hell are the ones that have
homosexuality should be fine.
Not been revealed the truth.
No,
yet.
we're just talking about them as
but as standalone concepts.
Yeah, standalone.
What's worse, having
shirk or gay?
Yeah.
Shirk is the
is the worst thing.
Look at Sneako.
Look, Sneako just found out. Wait a minute, I've been blasting away at the LGBTQ community when in reality they are massively better than Christians, and therefore, according to Muhammad Hijab, I should be focusing my attacks on Christians. Huh.
Yeah. Compared to being a Christian,
homosexuality should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
why,
you're right.
Why?
Momo the Hojo.
Urinating upon one another.
Momo Hijabo.
What's the logic behind that?
Allah.
Sneako is looking at his chat and going, "Oh no, I can't believe this. I can't believe
they're saying this on my channel."
does not forgive someone who does shirk with him, and he can forgive anything else to whoever he wants. If a Muslim has sex with a man, for example, he can still maintain as a Muslim, but like a heavily sinning Muslim. He doesn't lose his Islamic credentials.
And let me be clear: as long as you're doing plenty of dawah, Allah will weigh your deeds and say, "Oh, okay, you're doing lots of dawah. So just because you keep bagging that kid on the side, that's I'm gonna let you slide on that. After all, I let Muhammad slide."
Sneako is looking like this guy from this meme. What is that?
That's one of those clips you could use, and you start off with Muhammad Hijab talking about how you're way better off getting banged in your butt, and then you like slowly zoom in on Sneako in his face. You know what I mean?
Sneako looks like this meme here. Yeah. Like, no way, you really just said that? What is happening? Okay. No, wrong tab. Wrong tab. How do I even get into this? I've never used this stupid function.
Excommunicated from Islam if he does that. But if a Muslim if a Muslim commits shirk, he actually leaves Islam altogether with that, you know.
Whoa! So Muhammad left Islam altogether.
Yeah,
it's funny because they're talking about gay sex and shirk. Muhammad did both.
Muhammad was very, very.
What? The gay sex, at least, is debatable because it's whether you take him seriously when he says, "Yeah, this guy in here behind the curtain with me is actually the angel Gabriel, not Diha al-Kalbi, the hottest young dude in Arabia." If you believe him on that, which sounds pretty ridiculous, but if you believe him on that, then you actually believe it was the angel Gabriel having these private meetings behind the curtain. But on the other issue, shirk, he definitely committed shirk when he revealed the satanic verses promoting prayers to Allat, Alusa, and Manat. So hijab just said, if you commit shirk, you are out of Islam. So Muhammad actually left Islam when he delivered the satanic verses. Good to know. Good to know.
Muhammad was a real gangster. He has all the street cred now. He did both of the very, very bad things. It's pretty good.
What's worse, having sex with a man?
Oh yeah, so that is the part. That is the conversation. That is the relevant part. And you have the wider, larger, bigger conversation here, where after this, I think they are like 10 minutes after this, the conversation ends. After they have concluded that that being gay is not as bad as, or having gay sex is not as bad as believing in Jesus as God, then 10 minutes later the conversation ends, because they're like, all right, now that we have this established, let's turn off the camera. And
we don't want the camera recording whatever happens after this powerful discussion on why getting banged in your butt is not all that bad according to Islam.
Here is the thing. Here is the problem that I have with all of this. So when I heard this wasn't a big surprise to me at all, because if I was a Muslim today and somebody asked me, what is worse, believing in Jesus as God or having a gay relationship or gay intercourse, I would probably give the same response. I would also say believing in Jesus as God is worse. And I would use pretty much the same reasoning here. Not a surprise to me at all. And also, it's actually not that big of a deal to me that he says this from a purely Islamic perspective and point of view, weighing what is eventually and eternally good or bad in the sight of Allah. It would be understandable that that disbelief or associating others with Allah, as the Quran would describe it, would be considered worse than a major sin that is considered reprehensible and disgusting and punished with death. Somebody who commits adultery, for example, would not be considered worse. Somebody who commits adultery but still believes in Islam would not be considered worse than somebody who has been living as purely as possible by Islamic standards but believes in Christianity.
You said but believes.
Well, that after I said it. But the thing is, this is primarily to me a problem because it's a slap in the face of all of those who have been suggesting that there should be some Muslim Christian alliance, because that is just a ridiculously stupid idea. It is a stupid idea. It has no purpose. It has no precedence. It is not logical at all. And you can see that even some of the Groyper accounts, the Groper accounts and neo-Nazi accounts have widely shared this video. You actually responded to one of those. You probably don't know that those are neo-Nazis, but
what? Who?
AF post on Twitter is a Groper.
That's a Groper?
Neo-Nazi. Yeah,
Oh,
neo-Nazi
man.
account.
Let me find that.
They posted that.
When did I respond to that?
I think yesterday.
I'm gonna find it. Do not want to be sharing any of that nonsense.
Sharon is Kieran.
And wokeness, no.
What's your name again? David Wood. Okay.
Who?
Let me see. Your name is David Wood. You responded to that yesterday, didn't you?
United Nations.
I'm calling you out right here, man. Look at that. Look at this. Here. Look at this.
What?
Here, right there. Here it is. See? Here's you saying Muhammad Hijab tells Sneaker why believing Jesus is God is a worse sin than having gay sex. Shirk is unforgivable. Of course, Sneaker's prophet committed shirk when he said that Muslims could pray to the pagan goddesses Allat, Al-Uzza, and Manat. So Muhammad is in hell. For some reason, you didn't include that he also had gay sex, but I think that's just a given. And you quote tweeted this account here, which is AF Post, which is
how come I can't find that in my feed? You found it in like 2 seconds. Let's see.
because I have a good eye.
Gonna
This
scroll
is
through it again.
this stands for America First post and is for the America First neo-Nazi movement.
Oh my god, is that what AF stands for?
Yes. There are two things that people generally mean on the right when they say AF, when they say America First, not AF, that can stand for different things. But when they say America First, one of them is just this hard-line conservative idea of just prioritizing whatever is American. The other is the neo-Nazi idea that we should be adopting Nazi ideas that in World War II America was on the wrong side and so on, and this also comes from the history where during World War II, before America entered, there was an America First movement. Part of it was severely pro-Hitler and anti-interventionist and very much anti-Jewish, and this account here is very much the same. This is a propaganda account for that. However, it's funny to see that, yeah, this account here also posted this, and of course the gropers who were following didn't really like that at all. They didn't like that at all. They didn't like that at all. And somebody should inform these people. Somebody should inform more people. Apparently people are so dumb that they are unaware of what Islam actually is and what Islam actually preaches and what Muslims actually believe in. It's so dumb. You can't have an alliance with the people who believe that you are corrupt people who deserve to be fought and eventually converted or subjugated. That's what the Quran preaches about Christians.
Yeah, we hear this. By the way, we hear similar things every Christmas, right? Every Christmas it comes up with Muslims on social media saying, wishing someone Merry Christmas is worse than murdering them. Wishing someone saying the words Merry Christmas is worse than actually committing murder. And as AP is just pointing out, these are the people who believe that the ultimate sin is what and it was what every Christian does. And that, so basically Christians are the worst possible sinners, worse than mass murderers, worse than anything else. And you've got Christians thinking, oh, we should align with these Muslims because they'll help us against the LGBTQ stuff. Wait a minute, you're worse than anything anyone in the LGBTQ community is doing, according to these guys. These are the guys you're going to align with? Anyway.
Yeah, Gotham said, I thought it was S for, yeah, that's what you could think when it says AF, but that's not what it stands for. It stands for America First. Adam said Nick Fuentes started the America First movement. He started the current America First movement, for which he also created a channel called America First in his room with a background that looks like something that people would broadcast with 20 years ago. And like, I believe we should prioritize America, and I think the Jews, they don't want us to focus on America. This is what he started, but it goes back again, as said, to the Second World War, or to the Nazi era, where that came from. And then starting an America First movement and going America First and the Jews is a very, very clear salutation to those Nazis who started it back then. And Sanka, the one said AP is a left wing.
One second. And by the way, the saying America First as your slogan and so on, America First, it's very similar to when they were shouting Christ is King.
Yeah. And
very similar to Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
In that if you actually have some horrible, awful agenda, which for the gropers is establishing a whites-only Catholic nation, right? A whites-only Catholic nation. If you say, hey, I want a race-based Catholic nation, vast majority of Catholic, everyone's going to be like, no, not interested. If you say, hey, guys, we're about America first. We're about America first. Well, then all of a sudden, well, hey, yeah, I believe that we should be putting America first instead of all these other nations all over the world. You're right. Great point. Same thing with Black Lives Matter, when they're actually a Marxist organization trying to basically topple American capitalism and so on. But what do? You make your slogan Black Lives Matter. And therefore, if anyone objects to anything you say, what? They've got a problem with us saying Black Lives Matter. Same thing with the gropers. Oh, they're objecting to us and our calls for a white supremacist Catholic nation. See, they're against America first. And same thing with when they would be blasting away at some Jew. Ah, you Jew, you want to drink the blood of little kids and put it in your matzahs, blah, 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 blah. Christ is king. And then if a Jew objects and says, what? We're not doing that. That's blood libel. Oh, you see the Jews, they're declaring war on us because we say Christ is king. Does everyone see this? And you get all these dumb Christians going, what? They're objecting to Christ is king. Oh my goodness. Why are Jews trying to destroy our freedom of speech? So anyway, the point there, ladies and gentlemen, is with those particular groups, you're dealing with manipulators who know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing when they pick these slogans and so on. It is deliberate. It is deliberate and meant to deceive gullible people.
I do want to point out a difference there. I would say that primarily at the top, those who push these slogans know what they're doing. Yes, I would say many of the followers probably don't. They're just idiots. They're very, very brainless, and they just follow whatever sounds cool to them. And they're like, "Oh, hating Jews? Yeah, I don't. Things haven't been going well for me, and I think the Jews are at fault. So that sounds good to me. I want to join in on that. America first, baby."
I lost my job because the factory shut down,
and that's on the Jews.
Because
the Jews did this.
Why are we putting Jews first? We need to be putting America first. We need to be putting America first. Let me look this up. Oh, there's a whole organization here. America first. Who's this guy? Nick Fuentes. Huh.
Hi guys. So I'm starting this movement, America First, and I think
that's my movement. It's my movement.
I think for as strong, masculine, strong people, we should be focusing foremost on America and not on the Jews, because the Jews they want to make us, they want to turn us into women, and we don't want to be women because we want to have sex with men, and
young girls. That's what I prefer. I'm Nick Fuentes, and that's what I'm all about. Hey guys, there's like 500 of us now at this rally. We're basically taking over America. I'm going to be the next president of the United States. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. I'm Nick Fuentes.
Ayatollah Khamenei said, Mohammed Hijab, I think we've all gotten a little carried away during Ramadan and violently kissed a man due to hunger pains. Right, guys? Right? This is interesting. Here is a funny. This guy is probably a complete whatever. But it says, guy's name is Mohammed Hijab. I don't give an F about his opinion. So I kind of thought
is Momo Hijabo.
Yeah. So the Nazis are not taking it very well. The neo-Nazis are not taking this very well. Here you can also see like a primary example of people who follow this kind of stuff. The problem with Muslims, as much as I would love to make some kind of anti-Shlomo alliance, is their totalitarianism and inability to universalize principles. Of course, Shlomo here is supposed to stand for the stereotypical Jewish name. What's very funny is that this person here most likely identifies as a Christian and believes that there is this whole anti-Christian conspiracy, and that he can use Christianity to propagate stuff against the Jews. This guy does not understand that the name that he's making fun of here, Shlomo, is directly from the Hebrew Bible, and is actually the Hebrew name of Solomon. That's what it is. But this is how ignorant these neo-Nazis are. This is really how ignorant these neo-Nazis are. It's unbelievably stupid. Unbelievably stupid. Sanka the One says, AP is uninformed or watches CNN daily, which means the same brainwashing he condemns with Muslims. This is a very funny comment. I don't ever watch I don't even watch any TV channels. I don't watch CNN. I am simply I'm actually informing you here, Sanka. I'm informing you directly informing you. Yes.
You got schooled, Sanka the One.
I'm telling you exactly how things are. And you think, oh, this all sounds a little bit different from what I always read on my online forums. Well, all those frog avatar guys always tell me everything is about the Jews. This guy must be learning all of this from CNN. Dude, please grow up.
And I know I'm sank of the coffee.
Michael Bacon said, Fuentes tucks it for Momo hijab. This is true. This is true. This is a fact. It's a fact. So, David, what do you think about this all? You had a lot of stuff to say. You said that there's a clip of Sneeko saying he would rather his son be Christian than gay.
Yeah.
Where's that?
You want that?
Yes, I want that.
Hang on.
I want that. Can you send that to me? I would really like to look at that. Paulo Longaro says, can we get a one of us chant by you two? Only, not from us. You can get it from David and KP. Ben said, Hawk tour on that book. Some Photoshop that, please. No. GoTub. On GoTub, you can hear all night. This is just getting so out of hand. See, this is all the perversion.
I just messaged it to you on Twitter.
Twitter? On Twitter? I've got to look it on Twitter. Got to look at it on Twitter.
It's Sneeko updates from 20 hours ago. So they just posted it on Sneeko, probably as a response to the Muhammad hijab thing. What?
Wait a minute. Is this recent?
If you follow,
is he
20 hours ago? I don't know when the clip is. I don't know when the clip is from, but it's on Sneeko update. So they're like announcing, "Hey guys, Sneeko does not agree with Muhammad hijab. Sneeko says he would rather have a Christian son than a gay son."
This guy's
young. I haven't seen the clip, but I saw what it's called.
Did he just have a chat with Young Dawn? I don't know if this just happened. Let me check that out. But yeah,
Logic. I was even speaking to my friend Warner Muslim Lantern earlier about this. Like, would you rather your son? I asked him, would you rather your son be gay or be Christian, or be a gay Muslim or a Christian? And like, if you follow Islamic logic, they have to say gay Muslim. Me, like, I'm not gonna lie, and this is not even Islamically accurate. And maybe I need to improve. I would any day. It's not even. I would be lying if I said I would rather have a gay Muslim son than a Christian son. I would take the Christian son any day.
Whoa, yeah, he's not just saying gay. He's saying gay Muslim.
Wow.
Gay and Muslim. He would rather his son worships Jesus as God than have his son be a Muslim who's gay.
Bring me my stones. Somebody needs to be stoned here for this attitude, for this behavior, for this statement. This is not the right way, according to Islam. You are supposed to prefer the gay Muslim, not the Christian. What's wrong with you, Sneeko? What's wrong with you? Haven't you learned anything? Haven't you learned anything about halal and haram?
Yeah, we have to see what else he says. We have to see what else he says in this clip. But I mean, think about what he just said. He just said shirk is not the worst sin.
That's funny.
Allah is wrong in his moral hierarchy. In his hierarchy, in Allah's hierarchy of bad things is all out of whack, according to Sneeko.
Hey, the funny thing is, I just checked where this is from. The clip is from yesterday.
So this is after his discussion with. I mean, he was saying it. He was saying Muslims will say this, but I have to be honest. I can't agree with that. That's basically what he said. I don't know. There's another 20 seconds. I don't know if he's going to dial that back in any way.
Here's his Rumble channel. Look here. This is 2 days ago. This is when he had the chat with Muhammad hijab about that stuff. Where Muhammad hijab told him that, of course, believing in Jesus is worse than being gay. And here is this conversation that he had with Young Dawn.
Oh, he's actually responding to basically his fans complaining, saying, "Hey, what's up with hijab saying that?" And Sneeko saying, "Well, they say that, but I don't agree that shirk is the worst sin. No, being gay is worse than shirk. Allah doesn't know what he's talking about." Weird how
you're
often,
a very, very bad Muslim.
Weird how often Sneeko knows so much better than Allah and Muhammad.
Sneeko destroys Allah. So he would rather have his son commit disbelief than be a Muslim gay. than be a gay Muslim. That's interesting.
By the way, that's why it would have been so perfect if what's Moist Critical's name? What was his name? Charlie or something? Charlie? Was Charlie?
Charlie Brown.
Yeah. That's why it would have been great if Charlie had known about what's in the Muslim sources, so that when he goes, so I mean, 12 would be too young, wouldn't it? And Sneeko goes, yeah, for me, 12 would be too young. No. In general is 12 too young. Sneeko goes, yeah, 12's too. It would have been awesome. Boom, right in your face. What is this? Sahih Bukhari 5133 says right here she's prepubescent. You said girls got to reach puberty, and says she was 9. You said 12. 12 is too young. So boom, you're not a Muslim anymore. Or do you recant? See, it's like this. I mean, Sneeko keeps finding out what Islam teaches and going, whoa, that's messed up. Why am I just finding out about this now?
Yes, that's true. Alhamdulillah.
Right? I have to work on it. I would take the Christian son any day.
So let's have this again here.
And maybe I need to improve. I would any day. It's not even. I would be lying if I said I would rather have a gay Muslim son than a Christian son. I would take the Christian son any day. And that's not perfect, right? I have to work on that, But it's just, I would be lying.
Yeah, you has to work on that. How do you work on that?
Yeah, I have to work on that.
I have to work on accepting that a gay Muslim son would be better than a Christian son. I really need to work on that. I need to work on that before I have a son. This is very, very important.
Yeah, I need these guys completely altering my view of right and wrong.
Yes. And soon, remember, he was a little bit, I don't know, maybe about as disgusted by this, or maybe not quite as much, but when he first found out that Muhammad had sex with a little child when he was in his 50s, he was first disgusted by that, but then he had a few conversations about it, and now he is out there propagating that pedophilia is cool. Now that he has been told that being a Christian is actually worse than being gay, his initial reaction to this is I can't accept this at all. I don't know what to. I can't find it in me at all. But then you will see. Maybe in a month or so, he will start telling people that being Christian is actually worse than being gay.
And think about this, because I mean, you've got Sneeko, right? He's a young guy. I look at, I watch Sneeko. It doesn't come across me like this is a guy who's just like evil, like some of the Dawa guys and so on. It's like he is a young guy who got really popular and really wealthy, and then did what lots of young guys would do in that situation and so on. So, but anyway, once he starts like looking into Islam and he converts to Islam and so on, this is a guy who is going around banging models and OnlyFans girls and stuff all the time, and then like in the room while some other guy is banging his girlfriend and so on. It's like, not the sort of guy we would think of as terribly moral. And then he looks at Islam and is like, this is just what they're talking about, having sex with little kids. What? It's like, that should clue you in when guys who are really, really wrong by Islamic standards, nevertheless, look at the basics of what Islam teaches about like what you can do with kids and so on, is like, whoa, that is disgusting. That should tell you something about Islamic ethics. Instead, it's no, convert and then find out and then just completely reprogram yourself to think that sex with little kids is fine.
Yes. That's it. Mookow said, I don't even know who Nick Fuentes is, but I'm voting for Trump on my own accord. I need to point out one thing, which is that Nick Fuito is actually not voting for Trump and is also not endorsing Donald Trump as of the latest developments. The primary reason is, of course, wait for it.
Jews. I don't even know, but I'm going with Jews. Yeah.
It's because Donald Trump is being controlled by the Jews, and the Jews, they're making him support Israel, and Donald Trump wants to support Israel, and in this situation, under these circumstances, I can't support a president who will support Israel, who will support the Jews. So therefore, I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump needs to take a harsh stance against the Jews, and once he does that, then I will support Donald Trump. But right now, he loves the Jews, and I don't love the Jews. That's why I will not vote for him. Also, let me tell you about the Jews.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Jews,
what?
After all this stuff in the UK has been going on,
yes,
I've been hearing way less way less about the IDF going after Hamas, even though they're continuing to go after Hamas, and they're like leveling places going after Hamas. I've been hearing way less. It's kind of interesting if it fades out. Like if all the protesters just spent almost a year protesting and it comes absolutely nothing, and they accomplished absolutely nothing, and then it just fizzles out. It's like, what did you guys do except for nothing while Hamas got completely destroyed?
Yeah, the thing is, oh, hello, good morning, Infidel Noodle. What's up? How you doing? Hope you're fine. Always saying hello here.
Hey, hang on. We should ask Muhammad Hijab. Hey, Muhammad Hijab, what's worse? A Christian believing Jesus is God, or the IDF completely annihilating Hamas and killing a bunch of civilians that Hamas was hiding behind? Which is worse? He's got to say shirk. He's got to say the Christian's worse. Okay, why are you complaining so much about Israel then? You've got bigger things to complain about. You've got 2 billion Christians worshiping Jesus, man. What's going on? You're worried about all these guys who love death, dying?
Alhamdulillah. That's a good point. We should probably ask him that. We'll see what happens.
Muhammad Hijab.
It's true.
Muhammad Hijab, we invite you to join us live to answer our questions so we can get the complete moral hierarchy of good and bad down, so we understand it. We understand your perspective.
Yeah. Somebody said Nick Venice is a homosexual. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. So, of course, from my perspective, I would say that that being Nick Fuentes and believing in the things that he believes are like that is significantly worse than being gay. I know lots of gay people who are totally fantastic people. None of them remotely as horrible of a person as Nicola here, the Mexican Nazi. The Mexican Nazi, Mexican American neo-Nazi.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the Jews. There's always the Jew. Whenever I wake up and I look under my bed, there's a Jew hiding there, and I don't know. I'm trying to catch him, and I can't reach him.
I woke up this morning, and I decided to have myself a bowl of Frosted Flakes, and I'm sitting there, and I pour the milk, I pour the Frosted Flakes, I pour the milk, and I spill it all over the floor. Because the Jews, ladies and gentlemen, why the Jews?
They have been at it for a whole time, and they're controlling America. They're controlling all the lobbies, and they're also controlling my cereal in the morning, and the milk, and
the Jews. They poison the water. They poison the water that my parents are drinking, and that's what turned me into a complete dork.
And they are also responsible for the gay porn that was playing on my live stream that one day. It was them. It wasn't me, of course. How could it be me when it was my live stream? It was the Jews who hacked it, and they made it. They caused it. It's not
just
me.
Just like they did when Alex Jones was caught looking at some trans porn, and he said no, and it just popped up. Yeah, that was the Jews too. The Jews did it all. The Jews are spending every waking moment trying to put gay porn on trans porn on our channels.
And for Alex Jones, it only happened once. For me, it happened twice, actually, with trans and gay stuff. And then there was leaked messages where I'm talking about my love for trans and gay guys and little gay boys. But all of that just was put into my mouth and in my, no pun intended here, into my mouth and in my head by the Jews who are ruling everything and who are controlling everything. It's all their fault. Otherwise, I would never do anything like that.
Man. I don't know if you do, man. Some might say that's just common sense right there.
Oh, he said it's common sense. That's it. That's right.
Son, if I said I would rather have a gay Muslim son than a Christian son, I would take the Christian son any day. That's not perfect, right? I have to work on that, But it's just, I would be a liar.
I don't know if you do, man. Some might say that's just common sense right there.
So there you have it.
I don't know what he meant when he said work on that. Like, oh, if he's a Christian son, I'd have to work on that. Or if he's saying I'm out of line with what Muslims are saying, therefore I need to work on that. Probably the latter, right? I can't tell.
Probably
like 60-40 in favor of he's saying the latter.
Yeah. The ladder. The ladder. Gotta climb the ladder. Who said that? Did that really happen to Jones? It did happen to Alex Jones. I think there's some disagreement or controversy on what actually happened, but there's
I remember that.
There's
Like
footage
it became
of him being caught with looking at adult trans stuff on his phone. Of course, his explanation was
apparently the camera.
That
I remember his explanation. I didn't see the clip. I remember his explanation.
What was it?
His explanation was, ads pop up all the time on my phone. I mean, ads just pop up. You're going through emails, and all of a sudden you click on something, you don't know what it is, and then it popped up, and it just so happened. See, what happened was they're like filming, like, I guess between shots or something like this, where they kind of pan around to show what you're, show kind of behind the scenes type thing, like in between. Anyway, and they cut over to him, and he's on his phone, and it's a trans porn on there. So everyone calls him out, like, what was that? Is that Alex Jones? So everyone clips that, and Alex Jones is looking at trans porn. So he actually responds. He said, look, we're just going through, you're going through emails, you don't know what you're clicking on and stuff like this. All of a sudden it pops up. Everyone's experienced this, blah, blah, blah. Which is weird, because I remember like 20 years ago, you open something and something pops up. I don't recall that happening in a long, long time, where you're clicking on an email and something pops up and so on. So, but anyway, apparently still happens to Alex Jones.
For many,
scrolling through his phone, and the trans porn pops up.
Stuff like that. I mean, does happen occasionally, where you get like advertisements for some adult stuff. It never ever in all of these years and decades happened to me that trans porn stuff popped up. However,
yeah, I don't recall trans porn stuff. I remember like stuff like especially like back in the day when, I mean, email was new. I was in prison. And you start using this email and stuff, and hey, click on this, and what?
That's very, very interesting. But I don't know what happened. I mean, maybe he was actually really looking something up. Maybe he was researching something.
I was doing this research project for an upcoming episode where I was going to talk about trans porn, and I realized that I need to understand what's going on in their minds, right? I mean, we know that the frogs are turning gay because of the water, but the frogs are turning trans too. So
maybe he was actually sent something as a prank, and that's what was caught. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I would not know what happens behind the scenes. I cannot say anything on it. I don't know the details. But in the case of Nick Fuentes, it happened multiple times that there was gay porn played on his stream. Then there was trans stuff in his private messages. Then there were people very close to him who, after having a beef with him, said that he has very inappropriate interactions with certain gay minors and stuff like that. I don't know why people always go for minors who are very dirty people. But you know what actually disturbs me much more in terms of hypocrisy, very honestly. I saw this earlier, right before I went live. And speaking of all hypocrisy and all of that, hypocrisy like this here is actually the biggest form of hypocrisy to me. And I need to kind of, for a second here, point this out. Yes, I was talking about gay minors, people who work in mines and are gay. I want to talk about this. So here's Patrick Bet-David. He made a post earlier where he actually met up with this guy, Dan Bilzerian. And he's very close to him. And says one of these two Armenians will soon run for office. My initial reaction to that was a little bit of disgust, and then I thought to myself,
how about no? You sick in the mind?
And then I thought,
you're sick. You are sick.
However, then I thought a little bit further about this, and I thought, I sometimes joke about Kim Kardashian, right? I sometimes joke about having Kim Kardashian as president, and I say I would rather have Kim Kardashian as president than, I don't know, than this person or that person. And here it actually makes sense, because now we're talking about Armenians. Kim Kardashian is also an Armenian. If we talked about Kim Kardashian, lots of people who are on the right and who are conservatives and who are in the fan audience of Patrick Bet-David would, for example, look at somebody like Kim Kardashian as with distaste and mockery and lots of judgment and whatever it is, because she is a woman who represents a not so traditional, not so conservative, not so good culture She didn't become famous for great things and all that. However, if you compared Kim Kardashian to Dan Bilzerian here, for those who don't know who Dan Bilzerian is, he's a scumbag.
I didn't. I just started looking through his stuff. Seems like a scumbag.
He's a giant, major, huge scumbag. He's, I think, I'm not sure who is worse, Andrew Tate or him, but he's a huge, huge scumbag, and also definitely not in alignment with conservative, traditional Christian, and so on values. However, people will look at the woman in the equation with disgust, but be totally fine with this guy, for example, because he's this guy who's masculine and all that. And the one thing that just bothers me, which has completely nothing to do at all with this topic, is why is this the case? And there's one thing that I think about, which is, and let me know about your opinions on this stuff.
Your opinions?
Oh yeah, he's also, by the way, very anti-Jewish, very anti-Semitic, which is very, very funny. The one thing that I think about is Kim Kardashian is a woman, which is why if she does anything that people consider inappropriate, she will be bashed and hated and mocked and rejected forever. However, this guy can propagate a life of making money off the backs of others, having all kinds of prostitutes around all the time, being severely disgusting and dishonest and promoting all kinds of degeneracy, and they will still forgive him and still be like, yeah, whatever, he has good values and good things and all that, because he's a man. That, I think, is a difference here. This guy is a man. Kim Kardashian is a woman. If a man does horrible things and horrible degenerate things and scams people and so on forever, people can still look past that and still appreciate his good, his good side. If a woman does something remotely inappropriate, people will be like, "Oh, no, her, no, she's a joke. She's disgusting." This is people's perspective. In a society that functions like this, it's very, very hard to talk about hypocrisy and values and integrity and whatever it is.
How is this dork popular? Like, what's he popular for? Never heard of him before.
For scamming people and having a major social media account where he would.
Oh yeah, I see. When I pulled him up in Google, it's a bunch of pictures with him and a bunch of chicks in bikinis. So that's hence I'm guessing why you compared him to Andrew Tate.
Yes, pretty much. He also has a lot of scamming people, fraud, and things like that going on. He has been battling with courts forever. For that kind of stuff, gambling, I don't know, anything that you can think of.
Brandon Bilzerian is an American poker player.
Zach Matusek is AP White Knighting hard for Kim. No, I'm not, Zach. What I'm pointing out is that people are giant hypocrites and shouldn't be. Why is that now suddenly about me and about defending Kim Kardashian? It's about pointing out people's hypocrisy. People are doing the same thing with Andrew Tate, for example, where they will go out and they will find an individual woman online who does some form of modeling, just modeling, and they will start bashing her and labeling her as completely inappropriate and horrible. But then the same people will find and praise somebody like Andrew Tate, who built an entire empire of pornography and of human trafficking and scamming people and so on. This is how people are. This is what we're dealing with all the time. Happens all the time. Alhamdulillah. This is the sick world. Sick world.
In June 2015, Bilzerian announced his bid to run for president of the United States in the 2016 election.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he didn't win. As of 2024, he mostly argues against U.S. foreign policy and disseminates anti-Semitic conspiracy theories on his official X account.
Oh, there was a... Wait a minute. I think somebody posted it in the here. Oh yeah, here. It's right here. I have a lot of Jewish friends, so I'm going to say this in the least offensive way possible. Israel has no right to exist. God willing, Iran will wipe those genocidal maggots off the map. Now imagine...
Hang on. In 2014, Bilzerian was banned from a Miami nightclub for kicking model Vanessa Castano in the face during a brawl. That's right. Don't let her give you no lip there, buddy.
Totally normal behavior, man. Totally
Wait.
normal behavior.
In 2014, Bilzerian was involved in a legal matter with pornographic actress Janice Griffith. Griffith was featured in a photo shoot with Bilzerian for Hustler magazine, which involved Bilzerian throwing her off the roof of a house and into a pool. Huh. Oh, Griffith fell short of the pool, hit the edge.
Totally normal behavior.
So she wanted $85,000 for her injuries, and he wouldn't
Totally
pay.
normal behavior.
he threw her off a roof, and she hit the edge, and then he didn't want to pay.
Totally normal behavior.
Hustler's attorney claimed that the toss was an act of God and stated that it was not the publisher's fault that Griffiths suffered injuries as a result.
Totally normal behavior.
But arrested at Los Angeles International Airport on unrelated bomb-making charges. Arrested on a fugitive warrant from Nevada and booked at the LAPD's Pacific Division. Violating a law making it a crime to possess an explosive or incendiary device with the intent to manufacture it.
Look at this here. Heading to LA thinking about driving in case the Jews repeat their attacks of 9/11. This wasn't even long before any of this, any of the current war. This is just how he has been forever. Man, people like these are actually given a platform and respected. People who say stuff like, imagine if I said, I have a lot of Muslim friends. So I'm going to say this in the least offensive way possible. Pakistan has no right to exist, God willing. Some other place, China, will wipe those genocidal maggots off the map. Would that be a totally normal thing to say? Man. Anyway, scumbags like these represent society nowadays, sometimes. That's the world. That's what we're dealing with. Merchant Wrecker said, good morning. Personal comment, please don't be offended. AP, Arman, and Raymond Ibrahim do look like cousins because of their noses. I have a very buttony nose. David Wood, any good non-lefty book on Islamic rule in India? What a comment. You guys look similar because of your noses. By the way, can you recommend a book?
I haven't read any like full book on that, but if you get Robert Spencer's book, The History of Jihad, he has a lot on Muslim rule in India, and he's got footnotes to other sources. So if you get History of Jihad and then check out you got the chapter there, and then if you look up the references if you want more details, you can do that.
Yep. Yep. And as for my appearance, be very careful. You think we don't have gangsters? Gay P said, of course, being Christian is worse than being gay. Just look at how fabulous I am. I need to publish the video, Queers for Palestine, on my channel as well. I'm going to do that, I think, tomorrow or so. What's up with Aladdin hijab? You need to clarify your question. Are you talking about hijab or Aladdin? Or both? Or together? Maybe there are a couple, I don't know. Ayatollah Khamenei said Saudi corner intros be like Crusader General Dawood. By your estimates, when will the Islamic takeover happening in UK right now happen in the US? By my estimates, it will happen as soon as the Dems steal the election again, just like in the UK. This is a totally normal comment.
No, I don't think you're going to have an Islamic takeover in the UK. I think you have Muslims realizing that the writing's on the wall that Islam is crumbling from within in the Muslim world, and that this is like their only chance, and they're really worried about the avalanche of apostasy. So it's basically for them, it's now or never. It's now or never. So they're going to have a hard push. I believe that hard push that they're trying to do is going to have a big backlash. And I don't think they're going to win in the UK. It's just not going to be pretty. It's going to be a big, messy, messy process because the government and the media are going to side with the Muslims for a while. And it's going to, anyway, it's going to be a big, messy process. But I don't think, I mean, what you're talking about, 1 or 2% of the U.S. population, and you look at the rate of the Muslim population growing in the U.S., it's not even going to keep up with the ordinary growth of the U.S. population. So I don't anticipate. Now, we'll have completely different problems in the U.S., and they'll be connected to Muslim organizations complaining and politicians trying to combat Islamophobia and stuff like that. So you'll have issues to deal with and trying to keep us from talking about Islam. You'll have things like that. But as far as like an Islamic takeover, it's not after any election in the near
Not
future.
happening. Not happening.
You'd be
However,
talking way far in the future if you're even thinking about it.
in Europe was the funny thing is, when I was still a child and I was in Europe and I was in Germany, it was already a major discussion that the presence of that Islamic immigration, all of that was a problem to deal with and how people should deal with it. However, just 10 years ago or so, any suggestion that an Islamization is taking place and that that there could be a takeover or something like that would be considered a very crazy conspiracy theory, and people would be labeled as insane and as liars and this and that and dismissed for that. Nowadays, only 10 years later, we have Muslims themselves saying that it's time to get into politics and to start imposing their morals and their values onto society. In the UK, for example, and also in Germany and other European countries. So it might always, and this is why people kept referring to it over the decades as creeping Sharia. It seemed quite implausible to suggest that that society could shift toward this, giving into Islam 20 years ago, or to some even 10 years ago. Nowadays, it's not quite that implausible. You have a government that is about to establish, in the UK, actual laws specifically against Islamophobia, which include simply statements that you make about Islam and all that. When in the world did Europe become like this? And it might be very hard to predict for many people. It just happens very quickly. That said, America is very, very far from that. America doesn't remotely have such a Muslim population. America just has some people who are trying to be part of the government who have horrible ideas, like Rashida Tlaib, for example. She's a literal terrorist supporter, an ally of Hamas and other terrorist groups. Why is she part of the government? You have Ilhan Omar. You have the Democratic Party giving in to progressives and imposing their talking points, possibly changing the whole picture when it comes to the alliances that America has. And my concern is that the Democratic Party, as it is headed right now, is going to turn America into what Europe was a few decades ago. This society that is totally ready to sell out, to weaken, and to be taken over by those who say, well, we just want our rights, we just want to be equal. And I agree much more politically and in values with Democrats, but I think it's so important right now that they don't get what they are aiming for, that I should probably also publicly say I'm going to vote for Donald Trump or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Ryan said homosexuality should be fine.
Homosexuality should be fine.
Yeah, this is an actual quote by Mohammed Hijab, by the way. Look, it's right here.
Homosexuality should be fine.
Not making this up.
Homosexuality should be fine.
Alhamdulillah. GoTop opening to two butch Muslim men convinced twink convert that being Christian is worse than being gay. That should be a good video title. That's a good video title. St. Miles, Sneeko show epic shock. His reaction to that was good. I'm really curious how this will end. If Sneeko will just progressively become more and more Islamic, or if in a few years he'll just be like, yeah, it was, I had a phase back then, the whole Islam phase. I'm not really into it anymore. What do you think, David? What do you predict?
I think that's going to happen over and over and over again. Like he'll try to adapt for a while, and long run, it's not going to work. But that's the same thing we were saying from the beginning, right? It's not going to. You got all these guys, and they seem to be converting because it's just a cool thing to do online at some point. It's a good way to get. They're addicted to attention, and it's a good way to get easy attention. And I have to say, Sneako's lasted longer than I thought he would, but still don't think it's going to last. Not him, not Tate, not any of them.
Yeah, usually Muslim preachers don't last very long. We have established that. Yeah. Caleb Worker said, AP, FYI, Musa Adnan is actually Adnan Rashid's son. Okay, I thought that. That's what I thought. I was just not entirely sure. But David, here, this is for you. See, this guy that you don't know who this guy is. He's actually your best friend's son.
Oh, Adnan Rashid.
Yeah. He's your best friend, Adnan Rashid.
Adnan Rashid.
Yeah. See, now you know.
I bet he has great arguments, just like Dad.
Huge arguments. Huge.
Wait 1 second.
Oh, wait a minute. That reminds me of something. Hold on. Speaking of Adnan Rashid, it reminds me of something. He actually replied to me yesterday.
Adnan Rashid?
No, Musa Adnan. This comes in as an interesting coincidence. But when I posted this video, of course he is in the video. That's probably why he reacted to it. When I posted this video on Twitter, on X, he actually responded to it. Let me quickly find that, because it was I thought we should probably review this when we are live. So this is a good reminder. Here it is. Let's see. All right. So here's Musa Adnan, the son of Adnan Rashid. He said, so I said being Christian is worse than being gay, says Muslim preacher Muhammad Hijab to Sneeko. He responded to this with, and why is this controversial to you, a puss? Well. How often do we have to point this out? Here is Musa Adnan responding to me and saying, and why is this controversial to you, a puss? He is directly going with an insult, with name calling. David, did you catch this? David, did you catch what he just said here?
Whoa, name calling.
Calling, yeah.
Oh, Musa. Maybe Daddy didn't tell you the rules. And the rules are you come on and call people names. That leads to consequences.
Musa Adnan, we're doing this specifically because you chose to engage in name calling.
This wouldn't have happened if Musa...
You did this. This is your work.
Obeyed the Quran not to start insults with people who are going to do this in return. Yeah. This is all because of Musa.
You see?
Hey, Musa, I'm sure you remember. You remember like 3 years ago when we started doing this kind of thing and you guys all freaked out and started whining like babies on social media? Guess what? You're not going to say a word now because we did exactly what we said we would. And we started conditioning people to accept this as normal. We've normalized Quran desecration, just as we said we would if you guys didn't stop with what you were doing. You can't resist. Why? You hate us more than you love Allah. That's just a fact.
Yes, you hate us more than you love Allah. And even more so, you hate us more than you love Muhammad. We know Muhammad is more dear to you than Allah, and you hate us more than you love Muhammad. Forget about Allah.
It's like how much do you guys love Allah? And you're like, about this much. We say, how much do you love Muhammad? And you go, oh, like this much. And we say, hey, how much do you hate us? And like, oh, it's all the way up here. Ah! What is this religion, man?
I get really excited when you talk about Muhammad. I can barely control myself. But here. This was only one page, but actually I'm going to do something special for you, Musa. I'm going to rip out 2 pages from the Quran for you, because in your case, you are not somebody who is unfamiliar with this. You are very, very well familiar with this. You are very good friends and very close with Mojab. Mojab is directly there. You're sitting with him in the video. So you know exactly the history of inciting this kind of stuff, inciting these kind of responses, attacking people and their families, attacking them personally, name calling. In response to that, we would resort to something as simple as ripping up a piece of paper about which you guys would go crazy. And yet here you are again after such a long time. It's not even as a response to me. It's not even in self-defense or anything. It's not even in response to something bad I said. All I said here is, Being Christian is worse than being gay, says Muslim preacher Muhammad Hijab to Sneeko. Do you see anything rude or anything weird here in what I posted? No.
No,
No.
nothing. No insults. No. Wait.
I'm-
So who
I'm
started the
I'm
insults?
being completely objectively just a journalist here. I'm just objectively reporting on what happened without even adding anything, any remark, any
Not one
opinion
word.
on my behalf
Not
at
one
all.
word. Not one
Not
insult.
one thing.
Nothing.
No reference to you at all. And
Nothing.
here you are. First thing you
Just
do is
reporting
to
facts.
name call. So I understand, Musa, that sometimes people forget, but when you die and when you go to Allah, and when Allah is waiting there, sitting, waiting for you, and He starts stripping and showing His shit. Actually, that doesn't happen until you go to heaven and you have a special title, and then you see Allah stripping and showing His shin to you. But when you go up to Allah and Allah asks you about the offenses you have committed, you will be held accountable, Musa Adnan, for causing precisely this. Because Allah said to you in the Quran
He warned you.
that you should not insult what people consider holy, lest they in return insult Allah.
Yeah.
So
And
this
that-
is for you one more
Yeah.
time.
And Musa Adnan is like, who cares what Allah says? We don't care what Allah says. Screw Allah. Allah's stupid. So is Muhammad. They're all stupid. I decide what I want to do. I don't have to listen to them. I don't have to listen to them. It's better than being a Christian. Oh,
Musa
disobeying Allah is better than being a Christian.
This is your fault. You did this. Your contributions to the Ummah are causing the ripping up of the Quran, causing the desecration of the Quran. I hope you're proud.
Shameful. Shameful.
I hope you're, as your friend says,
We're proud of that.
Shameful.
disgusting. Disgusting behavior.
Heartbreaking and shameful.
Yeah. Anyway, he said to Christians, a Christian gay man would be better than a Muslim. Huh. For us, a Muslim gay man is better than a disbeliever. Islam is the most important thing. It is above your sexual orientation or anything else. Okay, cool. But why are you yelling at me, Musa Atman? Why are you yelling at me? What did I ever do to you? All I did was just to post this.
Yeah,
Man.
isn't that weird? Because it's the same thing with the Muslim sources, right? Like Allah will say something and will say, hey, look at what Allah says. Shame on you, how dare you? Like, why don't we just tell him? To be fair, we do insult and mock quite a bit. But even when we don't, if we just say, here's what the sources say, they flip out. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons we started mocking and so on. It's like you guys are going to flip out and throw tantrums and try to get us kicked off of social media platforms and so on for any sort of criticism. We might as well make fun. We might as well have fun while we're doing it. But
Yes.
even when we don't, even when we just say, look at what this guy just said, they come with the insults, knowing what it leads to.
It's even less I don't know what to call it, but it's even more objective than that. It's not even look at what this guy just said. It's like this guy said this and this and this. They're like, whoa, so what? How dare you? Hey, puss. Sir Dr. Whitemeat said, Gapey and Haramwood, are you guys trying hard? Mimi and the here next to him seem like naturals. No, I would. Gapey was the best, most natural gay. Ayatollah Khamenei said, man who loves taking his shirt off in public, who also sports the gayest hat of all time. Yes, so being gay is not that bad. St. Miles, Hillary St. Miles, what's up? Sneeko suddenly felt his butthole dry up. Very, very inappropriate. Ayatollah Khamenei, Mohammed Hijab wears the fez as part of his disguise when he's cruising the Turkish bathhouses.
No one will recognize me.
If I just put this hat on my head, nobody will notice that it's me, Mohammed Hijab. Christina said, David, can we donate directly to assist with visa moving expenses for Jai, DOC, and AP? GoFundMe. Thanks for all the work you both do.
If people are pulling the trigger on actually moving and stuff, yes, there are going to be lots of expensive places. Are actually way more expensive than they were just a few years ago. Like places like doubled and tripled. Fortunately, they're starting to drop back down, but like places to live in, rent, buy, whatever it is, just shot up over the past couple of years. So yeah, if people are moving, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot of extra expenses. So we'll do GoFundMe's to help people out. Yeah.
Beast. Based. Ayatollah Khamenei, David Wood is a Nick Fuentes fanboy, officially exposed and humiliated by AP. Sad. Yeah. You saw it right here. You saw it right here in HD, live streamed. It wasn't even fake. You saw it right here. AP, David Wood follows all the gropers and even retweets them. Shame on you. Apostate of Allah said they sound like they took a few hits from a blunt and they started to say things they think is deep or confess to being gay while high. That makes it funnier, actually. Muhammad Hijab takes a hit and he was like, hey, this is going to sound strange, but what's worse? Having sex with a man or believing in Jesus? Cam says Nico looks like he just found out having sex with hijab was bad. Ooh. Brother, hijab sounds like coming out. Congratulations, hijab, just like Muhammad. Yeah. I mean, I always thought there was something strange going on. I always think that like when Muhammad Hijab and Al-Dawa get together, there's something weird going on, but I don't want to make any assumptions and don't want to judge people. So, yeah. Ayatollah Khamenei, Muhammad Hijab, I think we have all gotten a little carried away during Ramadan. I already read this. Say Dr. White made Mimi to sneakers AF. Michael Beacon, Fuentes tucks it for Momo Hijab. Viati Busto said Nick Fuentes' times are actually extremely gay. Yeah, somebody needs to be stoned here, AP 2024. This is true. This is a totally normal statement by me. Ask Ash McLeroy said, Mojab type question gown to your head. Would you rather the one dödel shaft? What is this, man? Dödel shaft. I prefer the second because there's a strong level of commitment to the first dödel, and that's gay. Random Ox says, somebody needs to be stoned here. Mumu Joe says, what is worse, using a kid as shields, child, teen marriage, spreading hate, violence, celebrating ranks, gay, Christian, not in the list. FYI, hijab is a bear and Sneeko is teabag little friend. Prison break. This is very, very rude, making assumptions about people's private lives. You don't know how exactly, you don't know what their roles are when they engage in sexual interaction.
You have no idea.
So don't make assumptions.
Don't pretend.
Maybe it's the other way around, you don't know. Appearances can be very deceiving. So that's that. Shirko said
Shirko.
Shirko says,
dude, I could call him that because I said I wanted to. I could think of at least 4. I didn't even watch I only watched part of that like 3-hour live stream that he had, but I could think of off the top of my head 4 ways he condemned Muhammad and the Quran, like flat out. Like, so for instance, when he says 12 is too young in general. Okay, you just condemned Muhammad, but I can think of like 4 different ways he condemned Muhammad and Islam. But I could call him Shirko in that video. That'd be good. Shirko.
Based.
Shirko.
Based.
Shirko.
Based.
Based Shirko. He's so based that he doesn't care what Allah says.
Based co. Shirko said, upon further consideration, I would love to have a gay Muslim son to give to Prophet Muhammad.
That's from Shirko.
Upon further consideration, I would love to have a gay son because
Shirko. That was rude. It was. Schultz Weber. Somebody here, David. Some mentally unwell person here has some questions about Jesus. I think. What was that? Schultz said, Nick W. Jesus was Aramaic. These people here, who did Jesus flip the tables on? Schultz seems to be implying here that Jesus was anti-Semitic, just like Nick Fuentes, and
wait,
he
Jesus
really
the Jew,
like Jews, so he flipped the tables on the Jews.
He flipped the tables of the money changers, who were
they were Jews.
Yeah. Jesus, the Jew, with his Jewish disciples present, flipped over the tables of the money changers for violating God's commands about the temple.
But they were Jews. How can you deny that they were Jews?
Yep. A Jew flipped over the tables of some Jews.
Yeah.
You see? This is why you're supposed to. We have to hate Jews.
Schultz, you genius. Maybe you should spend more time if you want to comment on, the religious scripture. Maybe if you want to comment on it, maybe you should spend more time actually studying it and understanding it and analyzing it, and maybe establishing some logical basis first. Jesus was a Jew himself. Jesus was part of the Jewish community. If Jesus does something or talks about the authorities, right, or the dominant groups in his time, it is an internal confrontation where Jesus, who is himself a Jew and part of the Jewish society, internally critiques and internally speaks to other Jewish members of society, the authorities or others, and then criticizes them, calls them out, and tries to correct them. This is in fact not the first time this happens in Jewish history, in biblical history, in Christian history. If you read the Bible, if you read the Old Testament as you know it, you will see very, very frequently that prophets and other figures turn around and start blasting their own fellow Jews, Jewish authorities, and others, including making accusations that you have become completely corrupt and really went astray, really stopped listening to the Lord. How dare you? What's wrong with you people? And severely and passionately trying to correct them. Jesus, as it is described in the New Testament, is doing very much what prophets and other figures also did throughout the Old Testament. Does that mean that those prophets who also had severe criticism toward their fellow Jewish men were all anti-Semitic?
And think if you actually tried to apply this, you're like, oh, Tommy Robinson and his fans are complaining about the British leaders. You see, they're anti-British. They hate Brits, and we're all supposed to be anti-British and hate all British people now. Or in the US, you got people on one side, they're criticizing Americans like Donald Trump. And on the other side, they're criticizing Americans like Kamala Harris. Therefore, everyone in the US is anti-American.
Yes.
And all Americans must be hated now. It's like these guys don't understand how stupid and insane they sound to anyone who isn't a moronic, brainwashed groiper.
Yes, you are completely stupid. Stop listening to people like Fuentos, who have never, ever even began to read a book. Stop listening to people like that. Maybe if you want to be a Christian, maybe start studying your own religion instead of lying about it and using it for your pathetic behavior, pathetic finger pointing and whatever it is. Yes. PBUM said, I got sneako today. Sneako verb. When you do something super stupid or say something you have no clue about what you are saying. Welcome to Darwa. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's also called groping. That's the gropers do. John West, Steel manning Sneako's position. A Christian son can produce grandkids that you might convert to Islam, producing more Muslims long-term than a gay son. That's a very interesting assumption to make, but you're not supposed to think about that. You're supposed to think about the immediate person that you are dealing with, your child. So, yeah. Alhamdulillah. T.I. said Nick is too busy watching men. That's true. That might be the problem. Ayatollah Khamenei, keep Tesla's name out your mouth. What is this in reference to? Ryan Shirtless Mimi Hijab is one of us. Just a dude. I'm trying to think of
us. One of us.
Who's sorry. Ash McLeroy, guys, get off. Alex Jones's back. Trans women are just the same as regular women, except that they come in with an extra handle so that you can hold on in case you're about to fall. That's all. This is a good point. I've heard this explanation before. This makes sense. Yeah.
In Islam, when you transition, your zabibas become zabubas. That's funny. Because if you transition, you're not going to the mosque anymore, or you're laying low. But in general, you're not going anymore, and therefore your zabiba is going to go away.
Yeah.
Instead, you got zabubas.
Rulia Morrigan said Jesus hated Jews. This is how stupid this sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine This is just how ridiculous this is. This is how stupid these people nowadays who have, unfortunately, this is a side effect of social media where the least informed people who haven't put a serious thought, or who haven't engaged in any proper study into whatever they believe in, can go online and with anonymous accounts start spewing complete nonsense and then suggest something as stupid as Jesus was against Jews. Jesus was a Jew, you absolute idiot. Oh boy. Cam, it's Dan. Isn't Dan a white Andrew Tate? Yeah, I think pretty much so. Yeah.
Whereas Tate plays chess. What's that other guy's name? The other guy plays poker.
Dan plays poker. Yeah.
Dan plays poker.
Just the dude said love is love. What circle it ye? Yeah. Philip, Daniel, I support Armenia, but Armenia did expel 750,000 Azeris from 7 Azerbaijani provinces, Artsakh, in 1992-93. Is Armenia a genocidal state too? I noticed over the years that if you go into the discussion of Armenia and genocide, or of Armenia and Azerbaijan and Turkey, you will open a can of explosives. And it's a whole discussion that has layers where whatever you say, somebody will start attacking you for misrepresenting them or whatever it is. It is true that apparently especially over the last 100 years, both sides have engaged in forcibly relocating and forcibly relocating people of the other side, or in certain violent activities toward the other side. But you could still analyze the recent history and conclude that that the Armenians probably have more right to the land than the Azerbaijanis do, historically speaking, demographically speaking. But yeah, it's a very, very complicated and very contested topic, where I would suggest speaking to or listening to historians who have more knowledge on the matter. What do you say, David? Do you say we should expel all the Azerbaijanis?
It's I don't know enough about the history and the situation. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I know people who are Armenians and so on. I wouldn't mind having them bring us up to date on some various issues at some point.
It's based. Armenians are pretty cool, though, and have a very, very important history.
You've just spent half this show condemning an Armenian and another Armenian for supporting that Armenian.
But I also protected another Armenian from all the attacks and called out the hypocrisy of condemning Armenians like her. And we are speaking of none other than the great Kim Kardashian, who should be the next president. Tezbot said, being against terrorism and caring about your country is toxic, but calling for the genocide of the Jews is okay. I don't understand. Help. Well, this is the way of the world. This is the ways of the world, and that's just what it is. If you fight back against those people who disagree in coexisting with you and who want to exterminate you, all of you, if you fight back against them, this means you are genocidal. However, if you are on the other side and you advocate for destroying this country and getting rid of all of them, then you are actually just part of the resistance. That's what it is. Yes, alhamdulillah.
By the way, everyone should be calling out that hypocrisy over and over again wherever possible. When the British government, as they keep doing, starts posting speech that encourages violence is never acceptable, and we will condemn and prosecute you. Everyone should instantly be posting, what about this call for Jews to be exterminated? Will this be banned? Is this going to be banned? Is this the sort of, this explicitly calls for violence and killing? Why is this okay according to you? But if someone says, no, don't follow that, the government says, oh, look, you're calling for violence against Muslims. How? By saying that's evil? Yes, that's basically wait, an actual call for violence against Jews is fine. But if you say, no, don't do that, suddenly you're the guy encouraging violence. This is insane. But anyway, guys, a ton of people need to be exposing this relentlessly. You got to be relentless. If you wake up and you're seeing them post something stupid like that on social media, have some screenshots ready of some Muslim sources and be asking them about it.
It's just so wild, man. I think what is happening, especially over the last year or so, is really changing me and my perspective and kind of radicalizing me, if you want to call it that. Where I feel like, okay, if we want to, ban people from, I don't know, incitement or from being against Islam or against Muslims, how about we just ban Islam altogether, because it also contains a lot of otherization, genocidal speech, dehumanizing remarks in the scripture, in the Quran, against Jews and Christians and disbelievers in general. How about let's just ban that? If it's okay nowadays to suggest that we should ban people from saying certain things online about others, how about we suggest also just banning Islam altogether? This shouldn't be a very controversial suggestion, right? You can disagree with me on the suggestion, but it shouldn't be a controversial suggestion. Apparently, banning things is totally cool. Let's ban Islam. Let's ban the Quran. Let's
ban Islam is based.
Yes, let's ban the name Muhammad. Let's ban anything that has anything to do with Islam. Why not? If genocidal stuff is bad, if hateful stuff is bad, then Islam is hateful and genocidal. Therefore, ban it. Alhamdulillah. Mr. ROC, shirk is worse than gay, except when Momo does it. Yeah.
Then it's fine. Well,
cool.
Yeah, but then you just say, no, it's an angel who was over here banging me.
La, 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 la. Okay. People are going crazy in the chat now. Here.
That's what they do.
How about this? If you are here in the chat, you should subscribe to the channel to continue commenting on it. Thanks. Ash McLeroy said, as an Iranian, I say the Islamic regime in Iran can't even wipe its own butt, let alone wipe Israel off the map. This is a very good point.
Does seem like that's a regime that could crumble like any minute, right? Like, I mean, it could be now, it could be 5 years from now. You just can't tell. Just nothing would be surprising. Like all of a sudden the army changes sides and takes out the sides with the people or something. Like you just can't tell. These things happen. But that's a place where Iran, that seems like a place where the government is going to collapse sometime in the near future. Yes. And it will be glorious to watch and behold.
Glorious. Totally glorious. Jackie McCracken. But yeah, on that. To all my Israeli brothers and sisters, I say, long live Israel. Yes, beast. See. Here. The Islamic regime in Iran really relies very much on whatever the proxies do. So whatever the Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis do, they themselves don't have much control. I think actually there were recent there was this whole discussion when Israel took out Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas. There were questions why Israel did this when Haniyeh was in Iran. I think maybe one aspect of it is maybe strategic. Maybe it was Israel trying to demonstrate that Iran cannot even control or cannot even protect diplomatic visitors within its own borders, which is why any threat that comes from Iran is rather pathetic and will be countered with force, with major force, not with such pathetic force. I mean, Iran literally had Ismail Haniyeh over, and while he was there as a guest, he was killed. It happened while they were hosting him. What a horrible host. What does that say?
Pretty
what
crap
does it
host
tell
right
you
there.
about Iran? Jackie McCracken This morning, I was advised in an email that as a small cake decorating business, I should educate myself on halal. Thanks, but I'm kosher. Really? This really happened? I'm really curious now. Kate Colt Waraith says, is there a place that will print Holy Quran toilet paper, preferably 2-ply? I think you could probably look for something like that online. Let me see. Custom made toilet paper prints. Let's see if we can find something.
We'll see if anyone actually prints it already, like Quran toilet paper.
Print toilet paper, customized printed toilet paper gift set. $60 to $200. Custom printed toilet paper rolls. Huh. This is interesting. I wonder if you can print the whole Quran into one toilet paper roll. That would be funny. Let me see. Quran toilet paper roll. Huh. High quality soft Quran paper jumbo rolls. What? Quran paper? I don't know. This is something to look into. Maybe this is an industry that people haven't tackled yet, so this might be a good idea to take advantage and to start a business with toilet paper quotes. The next Zuckernack, how would Wingerling react to David ripping up a picture of Mike Winger?
There's no scenario where I'd ever have a picture of Mike Winger, so it's not a situation that could arise. Next Zuckernack.
Good point. Good point, good point, good point, good point, good point, good point, good point. How many years ago? We'll turn the White House into a Hosseini shrine where they gathered to mourn the death of Imam Hosseini. We laughed. Yeah, Iranians, the Iranian leadership, the Islamic leadership of Iran has said a lot of things over the years, and most of it is just totally a joke. Most of it is completely a joke and should not be taken seriously. So there you go. They also still say repeatedly, death to America and death to Israel. Of course, you have some people who pretend to be proud Americans who will be like, yeah, ignore that part, but yeah, Iran, go on, destroy Israel. Yeah, ignore the whole part about destroying America. Yeah, we're proud Americans, but yeah, Iran, go ahead and destroy Israel. Yeah, death to Israel. Paradox. I don't think Dawa can survive you two working together in one place every day. I think so too, but it's we'll just do it. We'll do it.
Might be fun.
Hyperactive, you should review Mossab's debate with Cenk about Israel. Did that happen? Wait.
Yeah, I saw that when it popped up. I looked it up. Yeah, it's on the Young Turks channel. It was apparently hosted by some place called Open to Debate. They had one on, I think, on Piers Morgan a while back that we probably covered. But yeah, there's a new one that just came out yesterday.
Yeah, there was an old one, but let's see. Open to Debate. Can Israel make peace with Hamas? Oh, this is an actual. This is not like.
No, this is a formal debate.
This is an actual formal. Whoa.
We might have to check that out tomorrow. We'll see. I'll check it out.
Whoa. So that is the correct thing to do. Now that's a.
So this actually happened. Wow.
It didn't.
Another situation where Cenk Uyghur, who thinks he's going to be president of the United States, talking to a guy who was there while everything was happening.
Yeah.
A guy who was there while Hamas is developing and coming up with his plans. And
the responses are.
Cenk's going to tell him.
The responses are quite telling. Cenk Uyghur is such a chump. I don't think he believes his own BS. Cenk is so uninformed about the whole Middle East situation. He's so uneducated. What a waste of time having him in this debate. I'm 5 minutes in and I can't even stand
Cenk is on
Cenk's mouth. Oof, this is bad, man.
Cenk is on he's basically on the level of like Jordan Peterson when Jordan Peterson was saying, "Get a pen pal, eh?" But he's never unlike Jordan Peterson, Cenk never seems to grow out of any of his stupid views.
Yeah. Why is this guy even still trying to? He shouldn't be debating people. He is a pathetic commentator on things. He shouldn't be having debates, man. Love Mossab. Cenk is a clown. Only morons negotiate with their enemies. Cenk is such a chump. Cenk is clown. Hamas Constitution answers this in the first sentence. Israel will only exist until Islam destroys it. This is actually part of the initial charter. Hamas Charter, 1988. This is indeed part of the Hamas Charter. I think what it does is it quotes it quotes somebody and says that, let's see here. Let's have a look at this. Oh, it quotes directly Hassan al-Banna, who is the Muslim Brotherhood guy. He is the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood. He said, Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. Quote by the martyr Imam Hassan al-Banna of blessed memory. This is the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood. They quote him, and this is part of the Hamas Covenant, 1988. Of course, within the same covenant, you will find all kinds of wild stuff, like subjugating the disbelievers and eradicating the Jews and all that stuff. The regular stuff, the regular anti-Zionist stuff. Oh, yeah. But hey, don't worry, guys. It's just about Zionism. It's just about Israel and just about rights and stuff. Panchmans, you protest too much, Momotan. Alien X, I had a whole important question I had to ask you guys, but I forgot what it was. David, please pray I remember. David, this is a call to action. You see it right here.
No, maybe you're supposed to forget. Maybe it was a really bad question.
Alien X, if you remember it, don't make another super chat. Just tag me and I'll see it. I hope so. Cam, AP sounding more Christian than most Christians.
What is it with you? You're always sounding like Christian and Jewish and everything.
I wouldn't say
an undercover Christian, an undercover Jew.
I wouldn't say most Christians, but
you're everything except what you say you are. What? Sorry.
I wouldn't say most Christians. I would definitely say and own it that I'm probably a better Christian than these gropers who pretend to be very proud and happy Christians. That I will allow. I will allow that one. Can't say anything about Christians in general. But that's not a very high bar. I mean, those guys are just complete idiots. They are totally uninformed. And, yeah, that's what happens. It's like when Kenneth Owens tries to be a Christian spokesperson. It's a very, very low bar. If you read one sentence from the Bible, you'll probably be better than her. Philip Daniel said, if Jesus hated Jews, then explain John 4:22. Is that the one that says...
yeah, that's the passage about the woman. That's the passage about the woman at the well, and Jesus says salvation is from the Jews.
Yes. Yeah. Here, perfect passage for these very, very smart people who suggest no, he was clearly not Jew. He was against Jew. Here's Jesus himself, quoted in John 4:22. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, because salvation is from the Jews.
Based.
So in this context, if you can read proper English, and you can also go into the Greek and all that, and look into what is being said. If Jesus is clearly here referring to himself as a Jew. As a Jew. A Jew. Jesus is a Jew? Oh no! I have to stop following Nick Fuentes now, or stop being a Christian. What will I choose? Well, maybe I should just stop being a Christian, because I really love Nick Fuentes. He makes me so hot inside. Yeah. Sid Dave, Muslims are always defending the democracy of countries they happen to be a minority in. They're always fighting against racism, misogyny, and right-wing forces. Kudos to Muslims for defending democracy. That's what happens.
Until they make up a certain percentage of the population, then things suddenly change.
That's very Islamophobic of you to say. Repent. Nar Barsa said, long live Israel, from another Iranian too, doing the job for the rest of us. Inshallah. Inshallah. They're on a good path right now. Today, there is another controversy of Israel supposedly bombing a school and killing civilians. where Israel directly pointed out that it was a precision strike with 3 ammunitions that are in no way capable of causing the damage that that they say was caused, and they even have the names of all the Hamas operatives that were eliminated in the attack. And there is no way that this place was used for civilian purposes, unless secretly so, which should not be happening, because you shouldn't be using a civilian building for military purposes. It's against international law. Yeah. Israel is doing a good job, and we're proud of that.
We're proud of that.
Sid Dave said Quran is a great source of heat in winters. This is true. This is true. This is true. Also for smoking a joint, which I wouldn't recommend at all. Sid Dave said, AP David Wood, why do you think so-called liberals like Cenk Uygur, ex-Muslim, Destiny, bisexual, defend Islam, considering they will be executed in Islamic State? You might be a little bit misinformed right here, said Dave. Destiny won't defend Islam. Destiny doesn't like Islam at all. In fact, Destiny hates Islam. He even said openly, I hate Islam. Yeah, I hate Islam. And people were like, what? How can you say you hate Islam? Yeah, I do. I hate Islam. You might take it, but he really doesn't like Islam at all. So
yeah, but if you're talking about someone other than Destiny, there are all kinds of people who are defending Islam who would be executed in an Islamic regime. And that's simply the product of raising people their entire lives, programming a generation to think that the worst thing you could possibly be is an Islamophobe. Yes. And that if you have any objection to anything in Islam, it has to be the result of racism. You can do that. You can tell people that. You could take little kids their entire lives and say, the worst possible thing you could do is question Islam or object to anything Islam says. If you object to anything, it's because you're racist. You don't want to be a racist, do you, little Timmy? No, I don't want to be a racist. Okay, then. If you raise people like that, you'll end up with a population that is exactly like the police in Great Britain, where they will literally turn the other way as you gang rape a 12-year-old, just so they don't be accused of being Islamophobes.
I want to let everyone in on the behind the scenes of YouTube Studio to give you an example of the stuff that people like us deal with. Today, I got a notification that a clip from a longer video that I published on this channel was demonetized. And okay, expect that. Lots of things get demonetized, even after they're monetized. Then I checked the feedback that I got from the supposed YouTube moderators here. It says, these results have been rated as limited ads. A human reviewer rated your video as suitable for limited ads. As a reminder, your content should follow all policies and so on. And then they said the policy that I went against is hateful and derogatory content. And they then show me where exactly in the video this happens.
834 to 929. Hey, 929, that's a Quran verse.
Yeah. Hey, that's
I posted and not believe in Allah.
So 834 to 929. Let's look at 834 and 929. Let's see what they deemed to be against their hateful and derogatory content policy. Have, of course, the whole beating women, treating them as belongings, taking more of them if possible, in a state of war, abducting women and using them for sex when you have captives of war, which is also something that certain elements within Hamas have recently tried to practice, and they have sexually assaulted Israelis that they attacked and so on. Islam is just not something to stand with and something to protect. People should be smarter and better than that. And listen to ex-Muslims and their experiences.
It's a cult. It has every element of a cult. Look it up. What are the signs of a cult? Islam is a cult. Yeah. You leave Islam, you get prosecuted, you will be sentenced to death if they catch you. You disrespect the leaders, disrespect the prophet, you will get killed. This is a cult. It's not a religion. It's not a moral system that you want to protect and you want to include. No, it's not that.
No. It is.
That's it.
Was that hateful?
Yeah. So you basically went through a list of clear teachings of Islam that you object to, things that are exactly what the Dawah guys would say Islam teaches. Yes, Islam teaches these things. And she's saying, hey, if these guys just go along with all this stuff, this is a cult. And that's hateful and derogatory content. Whereas Ali Dawah saying, yeah, we was going to kill the apostates, we was going to chop their heads off, and I was going to be eating popcorn, yeah? That's fine. According to YouTube. Yes, this is what we deal with, ladies and gentlemen.
So us sitting there.
I'm just glad they didn't ban you over this, like, because it's pretty. I mean, it happens. They'll just ban you over something like that.
I'm showing this specifically because we talk a lot about what people perceive as Islamophobic and offensive and hateful and derogatory and whatever it is. Here is a very, very clear example where you can see it directly. It's not vague. It's not us making it up. It says hate or harassment toward individuals or groups. That is what apparently happened here. Hateful and derogatory content. This is why this cannot be monetized. And it's just us, two ex-Muslims, two former Muslims.
Yeah, two people who are under a death sentence.
Yeah,
stating their objections to the ideology that they left and which sentences them to death.
Saying that this religion, that according to this religion, we are to be put to death, and others are to be put to death, and that it encourages people to commit atrocities against others, as we have recently seen, that people end up attacking, killing, and raping others, which is why nobody should be defending this. Nobody should be protecting it. So we are pointing out the atrocities, yes, yet we are the ones who are then accused of being hateful and derogatory. This is the world we're dealing with. Had you said the very same things here about Christianity, which, by the way, would not be true, you would be totally fine and totally get away with it.
And if this was a reaction video where Dawah guys are reacting to you two being ex-Muslims and saying, we can't wait until we get to execute these people, that would be fine. So when you see people complaining about two-tier policing in the UK right now, there's been two-tier policing on social media since there was social media.
Yeah. This is the world that we are dealing with. And this is the world
we live in. Oh!
This is why I think that there's something really, really nice about Western culture, which created really, really great societies. But in the recent decades, it's just disgraceful and embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. A failure everywhere. Spineless, cowardly, stupid. Here, maybe this is hateful. Will they also recognize this as hateful and derogatory? No, because it's not about Muslims. It's about the Western culture. Sid Dave, AP, David Wood, do you think... I already read this, man. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Eduardo Ventura said you should cover this debate. Mossab was furious when Gents called him a traitor. Remember, he will be your president.
Yeah. Oh, nice. We might have to check that out.
Yeah, we should check it out. Mosh, what's up, Mosh? Said Quran toilet paper gives it an actual use and value. Yeah, but if it's proper paper. Otherwise, I don't think I would want to wipe myself with these papers, and it might cause trouble. Cam said,
you know what's funny?
No,
like you can recycle paper, of course. Imagine a situation where you gathered up a bunch of Qurans. Someone recycled them and then printed up these cards on them.
That would be funny.
Would that be cool?
Yes. It would be the most base thing ever. That's what they do. That's what they say.
This was the guy who said AP's a better Christian than most Christians or something like this, or lots of Christians or something. So he's saying, I meant a lot. Oh, okay. A lot of Christians. Okay. So.
It was a lot and it was, yeah.
I meant a lot. I meant a lot, Alusa and Manat. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a Mike Winger moment. I'm Christian. We're hypocrites. That's true. Alien X said, I am inclined to learn more about Jewish beliefs and study it deeply so that I know it, but the information is very exclusive to the Jewish groups. What are your thoughts? Am I wrong? Am I looking in the wrong places? Yeah. I would say you're looking in the wrong places. I think it's actually very accessible. I have some recommendations just online. You can find certain websites that are very, very open. One is Chabad, which is the traditional Orthodox source, Chabad.org. So CHABAD.org. The other one is Judaism 101, Aish, AISH. Then there is My Jewish Learning. Then there are different books that you can read on the matter, and so on. I even had listened to a whole like 20-hour collection of lectures about introduction to Judaism by some professor in America. It's quite accessible. I learned a lot just like that. Didn't need to learn Hebrew or go to some rabbi or anything. So, yeah. Celeria Rosencroix said, shame to see that people get demonetized. Sad indeed. Yes, but we will be strong, and once we take over, we will punish them and demonetize them. Tezbot, been accused of spreading hate for posting your vid, AP. People won't accept Islam is like this. Well, people are not very smart. That's it. Were you going to say something, David? You look like you were going to say something.
Well, I mean, if I wanted to say something, I would point out that people are going to find out the hard way. So yeah, people can reject it for a while, and then lots of them come around eventually, and they realize it.
Beast. Yeah, Safari is another website that is very, very useful. It also has an app, by the way, to the question again about Judaism. Where was that? Chabad Aish Safari. Safari is a very, very good source where you can read the Bible, Talmud, all kinds of different sources, and also have all kinds of education on Jewish matters. Very, very good one. Yeah, Tezbot. I don't know what to say. We can talk about this forever. People really don't want to believe that Islam is whatever those hateful racist people say it is, and they will try to make excuses. The only thing that we can do is just to repeatedly try to point out what Islam actually is in its own sources, how it was in its history, and so on. This reminds me, maybe we should make some new videos that are focused on simply Islam summarized, Islam explained in 5 minutes, or some things like that, to reach people again in that way. Yep. Paolo Lungaro, last time I was at the mosque, I went home with the wrong shoes.
It's easy to happen. They pile up their shoes on the little shelves there and stuff, and they're piled all over the floor. And then someone grabs the wrong shoes. And then what are you going to do?
This is funny because this is actually an inside joke among Muslims. The whole shoe thing.
Man, I walked in there with some Air Jordans and walked out with these flip-flops.
You can even find memes of that, like when I see the guy who took my shoes at the mosque.
Yeah. I told John McCrae on his channel once a story about that when I was in the shower in prison. So this was a 4-person shower and stuff, and a guy got out before me, but he grabbed my towel. So I'm using my towel. I was like, wait, that's where I put my towel. And he's using my towel, which I've been using for like 2 weeks straight, and he's sitting there drying off his face with my towel that I've been drying off my balls with for a couple weeks. And so he walks out. There's no way I was about to use his towel, but I'd come out my cell just wearing a towel, and I stick the towel on the thing. And then this guy uses my towel. I'm not using his towel. So I am butt naked, dripping wet in the shower with no towel and no clothes. And so I had to literally walk out the hall to it was hilarious. I got back to my cell, I was cracking up. That was some funny. That was one of the funniest things ever.
Alhamdulillah. That's good. That's good. That's good. Have you ever lost your shoes before, AP? Yes, I did, actually. I will donate jizya all over because of my dumb comments. LOL. I'll donate more on your channel to David. LOL. Yeah.
Good, Cam. I will be on there. I will be on there tomorrow to
Inshallah.
test whether you're a truthful person or an even more hypocritical Christian than we thought, based on your very rude comment.
You say inshallah, otherwise it might not happen.
Inshallah.
See. Here is jizya. Thanks for all the jizya. I'm taking all of your jizya. I love to see all the jizya that comes out of you guys. Yes, I demonetized that video. We're proud of that. Say Sheikh Mike Wingling. Stop pretending you're not that powerful. You're not that powerful. You can't do that. Said Dave, Netanyahu should challenge Muslims that they will leave Israel and establish Palestine if they can produce a better book than the Quran.
That's funny.
Yeah. It would be funny if Israel was actually open to. No, maybe they shouldn't be. They should leave it to people like us.
Leave it to us. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of that part. You take care of Hamas.
Yeah.
Israel, and we'll take care of exposing Islam.
Yeah. Israel wants to embrace and make peace with Islam, which I understand, and I think it's useful in a way, but I don't think in the long term it's very much possible, unfortunately. But anyway, David, anything else you want to get off your chest?
Lots of interesting topics to cover, free speech in the UK and so on, but I'm guessing the next thing we should cover is the Cenk versus Mossad debate.
Mossad.
We still have a bunch of topics to catch up on because there's some stuff going on in the world, man. I mean, there's some stuff going on.
Hey, what happened with Tate? Why are people talking about Tate?
Oh, yeah. I see a bunch of people commenting on Tate.
Is something happening? Something happening? Nothing? No, there's no news. There's no news.
Start talking. What?
I saw people talking about his outfit, his swimsuit, and I saw some funny things, including posts with 200 likes pointing out that his appearance in a swimsuit looks like.
I see people calling him a bald-headed eunuch.
People are pointing out that there was a video of him with his swimsuit, and there's nothing to be seen in a very tight in his very tight swimsuit, and people are pointing out that there's something weird going on here. So, but I don't want to talk about that now. I might post about it later. Yes, but thanks everyone for watching. We will be back again tomorrow on Dawood's channel, where Dawood and I will publicly convert to Islam, inshallah, once we find out that Islam is the truth. Until then, as always, remember...
I'm looking through some of these Andrew Tate memes.
Yeah, and also...
Lose faith. I tell you, lose faith. It's better for you. Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
All right. And we'll be back tomorrow again for another channel on David's channel. Muslims believe that Abraham built the Kaaba and is buried in Mecca, and Jewish people don't give a damn about that. LOL. That's a very funny thing about Jewish culture, where they just don't want to engage with any of the attacks or discussions. Part of it is because they say we should just focus on the commandments and following the law. The other aspect is historically having interfaith discussions has led to some really, really bad things. So how about we just don't engage in any discussions and any fights about religion at all and keep it to ourselves. But yeah, that's why we are here. Alhamdulillah. All right. We'll see everyone again tomorrow. As always, have a fantastic day. And as this goat always likes to say,
stay away from Islam.